hope you guys are loving our informative videos that we post frequently on this channel. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and also our social media links are in the description below. So today's video is about charging stations, how to set them up for business and what's the cost of setting one up. Let's start with some overview. Electric vehicle charging station market is estimated to surpass $48 billion globally. India is one of the emerging markets with very few local and international players in this sector. This presents India with a huge potential to rise in the market. Also, the best part is, any individual can set up an EV charging station in India provided the station meets the technical parameters laid down by the government. Inadequate charging facilities has always been the most discouraging factor behind automobile companies' reluctance towards electric cars. Carefully considering the overall scenario in India, the government has put forth an ambitious leap of pushing the 150 charging stations count to one station every 3 kilometers in the cities in India. The target includes setting up a charging station every 25 kilometers on both sides of highways. This presents India with a huge potential to rise in the market. In order to smoothen the establishment process, the Government of India has delicensed public charging stations ventures for electric vehicles, enabling the desiring individuals to extend such facilities but at a regulated tariff. What does all this mean? It means an individual can set up an EV charging station in India provided the station meets the technical parameters laid down by the government. To set up an EV charging station, one may need to take into consideration the following points in order to establish a station with an appropriate facility. First, target segment. Charging requirements for electric 2 and 3 wheelers is different from that of electric cars. Whereas an electric car can be charged using a gun, for 2 or 3 wheelers, batteries are required to be removed for charging. Hence, decide the type of vehicles you want to target. Number of 2 and 3 wheelers is 10x higher, but the time they will take for single charge will also be higher. Second point, charging speed. Once the target segment is known, then decide the type of charging unit needed. For example, AC or DC. For electric 2 and 3 wheelers, an AC slow charger is sufficient, whereas for electric cars, both options that are AC and DC can be used. Although an electric car user will always opt for DC fast charger. One can go for the franchisee modules of companies like Charge and Go available in the market, where an individual can park the vehicle for charging and can munch on some snacks, relax in the garden, take a nap in sleeping pods, etc. Third point, location. The most important and deciding factor is the location. An internal city road comprises of 2-wheelers and 4-wheelers, where the number of 2-wheelers can be 5 times higher than the 4-wheelers. The same is opposite in the case of a highway. Hence, the best solution is to have AC and DC chargers on internal roads and DC fast chargers on highways. Fourth, investment. The other factor which usually makes an impact on the decision is the initial investment you are going to put in the project. Any individual can start an EV charging station business from a minimum investment of Rs 15,000 to 40 lakh rupees depending on the type of chargers and services they are going to offer. If the investment is in the range of up to 5 lakh rupees, then opt for 4 AC chargers and 1 DC charger. Fifth, demand. Calculate the demand the location is going to generate in the coming 10 years. Because once the number of electric vehicles are going to increase, the availability of sufficient electric supply to power up the charging station is also going to be required. Hence, according to the future demand, calculate the energy you are going to require and keep provision for that, be in terms of capital or electricity consumption. Sixth point, operational cost. Maintaining an EV charging station depends on the type and setup of the charger. Maintaining a high capacity and add-on services like washing and restaurant services, etc. Providing charging station is similar to maintaining a petrol pump. Initial investment is something which we initially consider before starting any project. But the major problem arises when the operational costs are not recovered from the running business. Hence, calculate the maintenance or operational cost associated with the charging station too. And the last, government regulations. Understanding the government regulations in a particular area is very important. Hire a consultant or check from state and central government websites about the latest rules and regulations or subsidies available in the EV sector. Once all the above mentioned factors are evaluated, one can get started with approaching the right vendor. There are a couple of online marketplaces one can go for buying their own EV charging station, such as My EV Mall, to which the link is in the description below. Other online marketplaces include Amazon.com, IndiaMart, etc. Now that we have established what parameters are required to be considered to set up an EV charging station, you will be wondering what the cost of setting one up is, and what will be the estimated running cost. For that, we will be uploading a follow-up video soon after this, so make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications to be notified when we upload that video. Also like and share this video, it really does help the channel. See you again in the next video. Goodbye.